Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to sir. And we are from group 12 presenting for AMG20203 for company SOLARVEST and VSOLAR. So me myself is Nafal Azami based at atas. My friend Fatim Barak, Muhammad Haziq and Muhammad Syahmi. Alright, moving to the background of the company.
Okay, I will do a quick company background for both of the company. So the first company that we choose is SOLARVEST Berhad. SOLARVEST Berhad was founded in 2012 with their vision is to create a world by upholding the principle where clean energy is easily accessible to many, and with the mission to provide their clients with the highest quality and value-added turnkey solar energy solution, and thereby bring superior financial return on their investment. SolarVest act as project development for the customer to survey customers' necessity for solar and customize the design and provide financing solution to fund solar projects, as the company already has connection with financing companies. Next is VSolar Berhad. VSolar Berhad founded in 2014 with the vision to create a brighter and a better tomorrow for the next generation. Next. Their vision is to provide cheaper, cleaner, and renewable power sources. VSolar offers various core values to define VSolar towards operational excellence. Their integrity and transparency, business excellence, good sense, efficiency, and competency. Next, I would like to pass it to Naufal.
Alright, so for SOLARVEST, first SWOT analysis is their strength is they are the first company in Malaysia that provides photovoltaic panel, which has more efficiency compared to the normal solar panel. So since they are the pioneer of the photovoltaic, so this is their strength. Second is they receive multiple awards and recognition in the solar energy industry, as well as 20 years experience as qualified electrician and 7 years exclusively specialized in solar panel. Next, SOLARVEST business segment is varies. So they are making the target market broader, which is turnkey EPCC, operation and maintenance, and asset management. Next is their strength is there's solid track record in EPCC service. One of it is SOLARVEST has completed a number of sizable EPCC project for private client, as well as LSS PV1, 2 and 3 and upcoming 4 and 5. Next is SOLARVEST financial report is excellent, especially in terms of revenue and profit that has risen since the listed date of the company. Next is weaknesses. So the first weakness of the company is there are too dependency on a certain target market to search for their customers as their main revenue, which is LSSPV. Next is their market are limited only in Malaysia, making any market condition in Malaysia will directly affect the company's reputation. Only recently there has two projects which is in Philippines and Taiwan. Next is their supplier for solar panel or PV panel is from China, and they do not produce their own self PV panel. It makes the strong dependence on suppliers, especially from China, and especially since the pandemic happened, so they are affect directly. And lastly, their marketing for SOLARVEST, especially for residential target market, is not as hype as the other company, even compared with private companies such as OpenSys Technologies dan Berhad, under OpenSys Berhad. Next, their opportunity. First is the energy company that provides energy supply in Malaysia is a monopoly company, which is TNB, as the only provider of electricity for Malaysian citizen. they are not the only, but they are monopolized this electricity in Malaysia. So for now, the tariff never seems to never going down. So there are opportunity to attract more their customer to make the investment for the solar system. Next is government initiative in pushing green and renewable energy. Works well for companies like SOLARVEST. So there are many tax incentive from government. Next is there are some financing institution, which is banks that provide financing problems, which is provide financing solution due to the high cost to install solar system. For example, for SolarVest is UOB. They finance the solar system to whoever want to install the system. Lastly, for the threats of SOLARVEST, the monopolistic energy prices by TMD, even though the tariff seems to never going down, but there's still a risk for the single company, TNB, to acting to overcome SOLARVEST Berhad as their competitor. So they may reduce the tariff, then the customer of SOLARVEST will be rethinking about their gain that will be lack due to the decrease of the tariff. Next is financial issues from customers and their credit score. Make the customer segment really dependent on the financing company. Lastly, government's intention to liberalize the electricity market will lure onshore and offshore energy players into market. So they still have uh, risk in the government's intention for the solar industry, especially for solar-based company. Alright, next I will pass to Fateh.
Assalamualaikum. So my name is Fatih Mubarak. So I will share about the SWOT analysis for VSOLAR. So the first one is strength, the continued development and profitability in a safe, caring and sustainable environment, which is their strength in this industry, in their position on the of this industry secure. And the second one is the establish of strong governance standard across their organization, which is they have a strong policy and regulation that they follow. And the last one is Visola ability to maintain a sustainable company and generate long-term shareholder value, which is they take care of their shareholder concern with what project uh, might can get their profit. So the next one is the weakness. Success is primarily determined by the directors and senior management abilities and efforts. They are not very independent, which is they rely on the directors JV with another company to do a project. The second one is the Visola group crowdfunds competition from both new entrants and existing business. So which is normal for every industry. And the last one, the reliant on SEDA fit in tariff, which is the SEDA set a ceiling price, so the Visola cannot make to maximize their profit. Say, for the opportunity, uh, they are able to gain the advantages from the 12th Malaysian plan, which is that will share the prosperity idea and will encompass trade development dimension that will open the chance for the Visola to get the project. The second one is green and renewable energy efforts by the government bode well for firms like Visola. And the third one, the able to gain advantages from the FIT system that was implemented in 2011 as part of Malaysia's strategy for renewable energy. That there's some advantages give to the company by the Malaysian government. For the last is the threats that the photovoltaic or PV space is needed to absorb enough energy for bigger application. So they need a bigger space to apply this to apply their mega project. And second one is the SOLARVEST is a big threat, which is well known as the expertise on this renewable source of solar providers. because they have a solar farm in the Ayer Keroh is one of the successor project and well known uh, and were granted by the Malaysian government. And the last one, the customers' financial problem as well as their credit score. So as we know, the solar is not a cheap thing, so they need a good credit score that can to making a uh, to making installation of solar.
Right. So I will continue to the analysis of industry environment, 5 forces for SOLARVEST. Firstly is supply power. So for SOLARVEST, the supplier power is center to supplier from China, where their major supplier will not easily increase the price because there is still bargaining power from SOLARVEST to make sure their supplier from China has no monopolistic behavior, because we still have local provider for the solar panel. Next is buyer power. So for buyer power, this is strong threat for SOLARVEST, as recently the financial statement shows that they lost their profit margin even though the revenue still rose due to the huge increment of LSS PV project which include more cost and earn lower profit margin, which affect overall return on invested capital. Next is competitive rivalry. So for SOLARVEST, this issue has been overcome by SOLARVEST, as they already have a specific target market, which is shrinking the capability of competitors to interfere without disturbing their potential. As I mentioned earlier, they have turnkey operation and maintenance and asset management. Next, threat of substitution. This is low forces for SOLARVEST, because this threat is not a significant threat for SOLARVEST, but inversely, their competitors is having this threat for substitution, which is mainstream energy company, Tenaga Nasional Berhad. The only threat that the possibility of Tenaga Nasional Berhad becoming more active and aggressive uh, to compete with solar industry, or they lower the tariff of electricity, which will result in investment for solar becoming not profitable in the long term, or there's a lack in the profit gain. Lastly is for the threat of new entry. So for SOLARVEST, the biggest threat in the new entry is the government policy. For now, most of the tax incentive stated for SOLARVEST is the provision is only until 2023. So then they still have risks for the elimination of the provision that will disturb the profitable solar investment for customers. Right. Next.
Right, next, I would like to talk about the strategies conducted by the chosen company. We have chosen SOLARVEST. First one is strategy formulation. Despite they have a vision and mission, which is the vision is to create a world by upholding the principle where clean energy is easily accessible to many, and the mission to provide their clients with the highest quality and value-added turnkey solar energy solutions. Other than that, they have an alternative strategy, that is that they started to join international markets where there are new projects from Philippines and acquired a 51% stake in Thailand Energy Coal Limited from Taiwan, and bidding for the FIT rooftop projects. They also propose for their planning to their investors their march forward strategy, which is to more actively speak with property developers for potential business opportunities. Next is the strategy implementation. They have provide investment option that pair up solar investors and consumers for solar leasing via power purchase agreement. For example, in GSP RX. SOLARVEST also partners with Anora and Alliance General to offer a peace of mind or insurance for their customer, because when customers install solar system, they will need to face some risk that the solar system will be broken. Right. SOLARVEST also provides engineering, procurement, construction, and commission, where they handle from A to Z of the solar PV installation and utilize tier 1 inverter such as Huawei and SunGrow brand to ensure plant efficiency. And SOLARVEST have partnered with Envision Digital to deliver AI-powered solar solution via its operating system, ENOS, which could potentially increase solar power generation by up to 15%. And lastly, evaluation of the strategy is for internal factors, issues arose from their customers. SOLARVEST always made evaluation in every strategy they implemented and from every customer's feedback, such as the participation in NEM. Also, is one reaction when the solar energy produced is excessive and not used efficiently for resulting return for the solar investment. The excessive energy can be sold back to TNB under NEM 2.0.
Alright. To sum up the SOLARVEST, that company that we're choosing, the company can benefit from the opportunities of the external environment from a political and economic perspective, as the company also can benefit from the opportunities of the external environment from a social perspective, such as Go Green campaign. As you know, the government provide incentive exemption tax incentive exemption for the company that choose solar panel as their power. When they install, they get 10% exemption. Thus, this will help that SolarVest to boost their sales and become more benefits to them. And lastly, the company can benefit by avoiding the threats. The company is well established and well known in Malaysia, as it is one of the long established companies that provide installation of solar panels. So for the threats, like from the five from the substitution threats, they can see that TNB actually have that threat because of substitution that may be inversely happen, as people will like to go green as they support the Go Green campaign. So for the recommendation for this company, the company can develop better strategic planning to promote their product. This will help the product and service become more popular. The company also can build a recognizable brand, as this will help the consumer to recognize the company brand when it comes to solar panels. And lastly, by expanding the company target market, they can doing research that will lead company to find other opportunities and also will help them to increase the sales. That's all from us. Thank you.
Alright, thank you.